we provide a bonded road service. What we do, we're a road feeder in and out of the interior of Mexico airports. We completely bypass the border clearance, like every other trucking company has to clear at the border. Mexican customs, pay duties and taxes. We bypass that, and we're like an airplane, but with wheels to the airports, and the freight clears at the airports instead of at the border. So we'll pick up 4 or 5 days transit time.
How does that compare to air cargo in terms of time?
There will always be air cargo, but we're more like a deferred air. We might be 1 day less, 1 day more in transit times. In many cases, though, we serve airports in Mexico that you can't fly air cargo into. So in those cases, we will beat the airline to that, or we'll beat the shipment to the consignee, to his door by our trucks.
I'm assuming that's in part because you can have a smaller size load go in and it's more cost effective as well? You could just run one truck in instead of having to bring in a freighter? Or?
No, well, we run 53 footers. They're special approved by the Mexican government to be able to even move bonded freight in. They have steel floors. Their doors are welded shut. The hinges are welded so they can't take them off while they're secured with the seal.
Okay.
But we can run into those airports because they walk on and will clear the freight. By looking at the freight, they can clear it right on the truck. So it doesn't have to be unloaded, And once it's cleared, we just go deliver it.
How do you anticipate your business model evolving in the years ahead?
I think that's going to be the future of the mode of trucking into Mexico and out of Mexico, because we go in and out of Mexico. And I think it's the future. We're a little bit ahead of our time. I told my partner 10 years ago that we were 10 years ahead of our time, and we're still 10 years ahead.
Okay. Generally, what sort of freight are you carrying?
We're a road feeder service.
Yeah.
So our account base are not direct accounts. We call on the major international freight forwarders, the airlines. They give us virtual flight numbers, the airlines do. The UPS, SCS of the world, the FTNs of the world. Those are our clients. We don't call on a direct customer.
Gotcha. And I guess the other thing is, what sort of cooperation do you have with the Mexican government on this?
It started out, we pioneered this program.
Yeah.
The Mexican government had never heard of anything like this. You have to remember, until 1994, there was not an LTL program in or out of Mexico. Mm-hmm. So we went to the Mexican government and said, you have regular freight that's real slow and gets hooked up at the border and stopped for 5 or 6 days for clearance. Mm-hmm. You have air freight, which is very expensive. You need something in the middle, and we're going to call it bonded freight, bonded service. So it took us 3.5 years to get this authority, but it was working with the government, and the trust, had to build trust both ways, because you have to remember, when we have it on the truck, the duties and taxes aren't paid yet, like the regular one. It doesn't clear at the border. So those taxes and duties aren't paid, and that's what the Mexican government wants. So we're running in Mexico with duties and taxes not paid, so it gets paid at the airport.
Okay, interesting. Well, Mike, thanks so much for talking.
Thank you, sir.
Just on a final note, what do you expect? What do you see coming up in 2017?
I think we're going to see a booming business both ways, in and out of Mexico. Mm-hmm. And for our company, we've always called on the forwarders and the airlines and the air freight forwarders, and now we're actually going after the domestic carriers to help partner them and teach them how to give better service in and out of Mexico. Cool. So we think it's going to be great.